Good morning and welcome to Brewing Happiness. I'm having my cup of coffee, as you can see, in my bed this morning because it's Friday and I wanted to do locations on Friday, and because I hurt my foot, and so my broken toe has migrated to be a broken foot, and I find it hurts a lot less when I don't walk on it, amazingly. So I am hooked up in bed today, trying to take it easy, waiting for my boot to arrive so I can walk around. And I thought this was a good place to transmit from today. And today, let's see what we got going on here. It's a little wobbly in the bed, right? So today, the show is about my happy list. I want to start with a shout out to someone I follow, Cosmic Intuitive, named Ariella Indigo. Here's Ariella's, here's Joanne Brown. Good morning. And so here's Ariella's self-proclaim, or her title says, Ariella catalyzes visionaries, luminaries, and new paradigm leaders to activate their quantum superpowers and birth their higher calling so they can create a supernatural impact in the world. Well, I love her and follow her, and yesterday she did a live on your happy list, and she suggested that we each make our own happy list, and so I did, and that's what we are this morning, talking about the happy list. Okay, and I gotta say, it was so good morning, Debbie. Sorry, the whole delay thing is bugging me. Anyway, I made my list, and it was just so clarifying to understand and to document what makes you happy. You might have to think about it a little bit. I did. It's the first couple are easy, but then you start thinking really hard about what makes you happy. You have to know what happiness feels like. You have to know when you're happy. You have to make choices and decisions to say, this is a happy activity for me. You have to examine how you feel when you are doing or being or in a situation or with certain people, to examine what it is you're doing in your life every day, or maybe what are the things that you wish you were doing every day, right? So I'm going to start off with being in my bed makes me happy. I always say, spend money on the things you use Spend money on the things you use every day, right? We have a tendency to spend a lot of money on those things we use one time. Those things, that beautiful evening dress, or a pair of specific shoes for an outfit, or I don't know. But my vision is you spend your money on the things you use every day. Your towels, your sheets, your kitchen linens, the things you are touching and using every single day are the things to invest in. And honestly, good sheets and linens are heaven. I love a pretty bed. Joanne says, oh gosh, I'm having trouble this morning. I can't see. Being in nature makes me happy, and getting out on the water. That's right. Joanne knows exactly what makes her happy. I'm going to say sheets and linens, a pretty bed. Make your bed. You make your bed every day? I do. It starts your day out on an accomplishment. But I make it every day, but as you can see, that doesn't mean I don't stay in it, because this bed is made, but I am in it because sometimes I'm very busy. I got a lot going on. I got 2 businesses, 14 grandkids. We entertain a lot. I'm retired, but I'm very busy. I volunteer, but sometimes I love to spend the day in my bed, doing nothing, watching movies, drinking coffee. Once in a while, I'll even playing video games. Once in a while, I'll even bring my computer in here and do some work. But your bed, the end of the day, when you have fought the good fight, done all that had to be done, said all that had to be said, there's nothing better than pulling back the covers and crawling in between the sheets. Leaving all your worries, your troubles, your problems to be solved. There's always more to do. So leaving that all behind, your bed becomes a sanctuary. Now, let's see what we got here. You and me both, girl. Yep. Day in bed is like a vacation, right? It's a little treat. And I want to say, if your bed is not a comfort space, if it's not a no-worry zone, if it's not something that wraps you in warmth and lulls you to sleep, then you got some work to do. You got to work on that bed. It's so important. Sleep is an everyday event. Every night comes around. We know from more and more how important our good sleep is to our overall health and happiness. Too important for it not to be your happiness, for it not to be your happy place. You know what else makes me happy? Trees make me happy. I don't know why. I love trees. I feel like every tree instantly has a distinct personality. Somehow in my mind, I even kind of assign gender and names to them because they're so beautiful. They're so individual. I saw a meme the other day that said, when you go out in the woods and you look at trees, you see all these different trees, and some of them are bent, some of them are straight, some of them are evergreen, and some of them are whatever. And you look at the tree and you allow it. You see it just the way it is. A quote from Ram Dass. I just love this. Maybe we should try to treat each other like trees, right? Just accept that some of us are bent, some of us are worn, some of us have grown tall, some of us did not. And that's just the way that is. It's a great model or a great analogy for life. And Joanne says, there are male, pardon my glasses, but I'm on the laptop and everything is tiny this morning. There are male and female trees, but still trying to work out which are which. I don't know. I'm a weirdo. I assign genders to numbers and letters, and there's a word for making human characteristics for inanimate objects. I can't think of it right now, but I'm very guilty of it. Anyway, I believe trees are great models. They're a great analogy for our lives, right? They got roots reaching deep into the earth for stability, and then branches that reach way up into the stars. They're sturdy and unwavering at the base, but they're flexible enough to dance in the wind at the top. They have a large, unseen foundation that works its way, no matter what, down into the earth and conforms, and it's flexible, and it just makes itself still find a way to get down into the earth no matter what's there around rocks or whatever it is. It just keeps growing deeper and sturdier. So, I don't know, hug a tree. I love trees. Trees, when I'm around trees, I just feel calm. I just feel like there is vibrations and vibes going on around trees that just instantly change your mood. That just instantly, for me, make me feel like I am around a loving family that is supporting me and loving me. And I don't know. I vision myself as a tree someday. Maybe I'll come back as a tree. Debbie says, I see them more energetically working towards the same good for the good of all. That's right. And if you watch the mushroom guy, I don't know his name, but there's this dude out there, this scientist, and he talks about mushrooms and the fungal underneath of the work and their interworkings with the trees and how they're there to send signals to the trees, and then the trees are there to throw out the good stuff to the world. I'm going to talk about it one day because I need to know more about it. Saw it on Joe Rogan, but it was fantastically interesting. Anyway, loving trees. What else makes me happy? Picking up the check makes me happy. I don't know. I love to pick up the check when we go out to dinner with girlfriends, with friends, with family. It makes me so happy to say, I got it. It's just a little bit of money on the credit card that is, whatever. You don't even notice it. But it's such a small way to make the people you love so happy. It's just like when you give money to charity, right? People in need, giving money to people in need makes you happy. A lot of times when you're out to dinner, you're with people who might be struggling for money, and a little picking up the check for their $25-$50 for dinner might make a big difference to them. And if it doesn't make a big difference financially to them, it makes a big difference in that you thought enough of them to do that for them. It's just, there have been so many. Giving money to people in need is such a happy activity. In my life, there have been so many angels, so many people that have stepped in when I needed them. left $100 bill under a picture on my TV because they knew we were just struggling for money, right? We're there with whatever favor I needed. So it makes me happy to be able to help, to give when it's needed. It makes me happy. Let's face it. Okay, let's just get down to the bottom of it. Having extra money in the bank account makes me happy, right? For security, that the bills are paid with enough left over to do all the fun things we want to do. A gift. It's a gift. It's a blessing to not struggle with the bills. And trust me, I have been there. I've gone to the grocery store with the bottom of my change jar to buy milk and bread because I knew nothing else I could give my kids French toast. I've been in that place where I stressed every day, were we going to make the rent that month? So while I talk about my blessings of it now, it's especially blessing because I know the other side of that coin. I've been there. Worrying about bills is a daily stress that can take the happy out of your life if you let it. And like I said, I know what it was like to be that, but I know if I was put back in that situation, I have the confidence to know that it would be struggling and I would stress, but I would figure it out. I would figure out a way to, I would figure out a way to take care of the situation, but I know no matter what, that's a shakeup to your stability. Not having to worry about the bills are paid, makes me extremely happy. Actually, what it makes me feel is secure and stable, and that makes me happy. Now, what else makes me happy? Hanging out with my grandkids makes me happy. I have 9 grandchildren, and the man has 5, so 14 between them. 5 of them live within walking distance of our house. 7 more of them live within 15 minutes drive, right? So 3-year-old Luke comes over on Tuesday and Thursday mornings. 7-year-old Addie and 3.5-year-old Emmy on Saturday nights. Their folks work the graveyard shift, right? I got 17-year-old Alex, the oldest, and he and I have coffee once in a while. He comes over and helps me when I need a back. I need a strong man to move things around. And 14-year-old Juliana, she's working on illustrating one of my poems for me for a new book. Then I got 14-year-old Olivia, and she is starting her own business, so we're collaborating on her business. Anyway, as you can see, quite involved in their lives. Now, this is a beautiful thing because the perspective of a grandparent is totally different than that of a parent. And I know, I had 5 kids. I raised 5 kids. I know the pressure of working, shopping, homework, sports, gymnastics, try to fit it all in, try to actually have some time left over to talk to your kids. And when you do talk to them, what? It's about, did they finish their homework? Did they clean their rooms? Did you take your bath? Did you eat your vegetables? Did you brush your teeth? Right? Those are not conversations. We want the best for them. We want them to achieve and succeed. So we're pushing them to make them better for their own good. But as a grand. Oh, and by the way, they don't call me grandma because I became a grandma at a young age and I just couldn't face the G word. So I became the noni. Nonna is grandma in Italian. So I somehow became the noni. So anyway, the world is different. I babysit a lot. Or as I like to think that I get to spend a lot of time one-on-one with them. And my daughter always says, Mom, how am I ever going to pay you back for everything that you do for us? All this babysitting. And I tell her, you're going to pay it back because you're going to babysit those kids. Just like my mom babysat my kids. And I babysit these kids. And you'll babysit your kids because this stuff rolls downhill, right? But the thing is, as the noni, I don't have to worry about any of that. Are they doing their jobs? Are they accomplishing things stuff, right? I have the luxury of simply getting to know these awesome little people, watch them grow, watch them blossom, become teenagers, and now we're starting into the area of young adults. No judgment. They're not a reflection of me. As parents, we see our children as reflections of us, and we worry about everything, right? It's so bright. Can you see me? Does that make a difference if I turn off the light? Still kind of a bad lighting. Anyway, I get to love them in small doses without the restriction of worrying about chores. Our time together is purely time together. And then they go home. The best part of being a grandparent is you spend time with them and then they go home. So the family itself, hanging with the family, makes me happy. That's one of the greatest joys in my life one of the greatest joys I think in a lot of people's lives is to watch your children grow up and become your friends, right? My joke is always I didn't have any sisters. I just have 2 brothers, no sisters. So I grew my own. I had 3 daughters, and now they're my best friends. And we do things together all the time. Once in a while, someone asks if we're all sisters. I'm like, yes, I'm the older sister. It's fantastic. In a large family, there are a lot of birthdays, a lot of anniversaries, a lot of graduations. So we get together a lot, either as a whole, all y'all of us, about 20 something of us, or we get together in subgroups. Small, we get together, but we're getting together a lot. I love just sitting and watching my family talk to each other, argue, laugh, play games. We're fun. We're loud. There's a whole lot of us, and we're all expressive and trying to be heard, and it's a crazy place to be around, but it sure does. That family sure does make me happy. All right, painting. Painting makes me happy. We've talked about this before. I paint rocks. I paint pictures. I paint pictures on things. I just love to paint. I don't have a lot of talent. It's not about. I'm a fantastic artist. I'm not painting for anything other than the sheer joy of creating little pictures, of mixing and choosing colors, of laying the colors down on the surface and seeing what picture evolves from it. I know a lot of people who don't paint, who have done a little bit of painting and are always surprised at just how good their pictures do turn out. But it's okay. It's like I'm not painting because I expect my rocks or my pictures to be hung in a gallery somewhere, right? That's not going to happen. They're just done for the sheer pleasure of the act of creating. And then, of course, for the painting of rocks, we got a little rock garden in the backyard now with all the rocks the kids and I have painted, because the grandkids love to paint rocks too. So that's one of the things we do. Noni, can we paint rocks? I got a rock painting kit that's ready to come out and spread out, and everybody paints their rocks. And then we do fun stuff, like we went to the park one day and we hid our rocks around for people to find them, or we give them as gifts. So I highly recommend painting. Of course, it helps that I have a yard full of big, round, smooth stones, the perfect painting rocks. It helps that my whole yard is filled with that. But yeah, paint anything. You don't have to paint rocks. Paint anything. I also love gluing small objects together to make 3-dimensional mosaics. We'll talk about this one day. But it kind of takes me to the same place. Art of any kind, just putting my head down and creating something. It takes me to the zone, right? Time stops. All my troubles, all my worries are gone as I am focused on creating patterns and color swirls and something fun. I don't know. I highly recommend it. It makes me happy. Your list might look different, right? You might have stuff on your list that you like to do that doesn't sound like fun to me, but I'm talking about my list today. So riding in my convertible makes me happy. Yes, I know it's a convertible, but there's something about it. The wind in my hair, it feels, not everyone loves it. Let me just tell you, not everyone loves the convertible. It's a low rider. You got to get way down into it. It's not the smoothest ride. It's an older car. It's a 2003. It's not a smooth ride, but the wind in my hair, the convertible feels like you're outside. It's kind of like the feeling you got when you rode your bike when you were a kid, right? Where you're part of the scenery as you pass through. Much different than inside the bubble of a closed car. If you're not used to riding in a convertible, this is maybe hard to explain, but I love to cruise. I never take the highway. I just love to cruise the surface streets. I see more. I feel like I'm part of the street I'm driving on. The music's playing, you're driving. Sometimes you feel like you're in a movie video. You're in a music video, right? You get the music blasting and the sun is shining and the wind is going and the trees are flying by you as you cruise down the street. It's like living your life in a music video, right? I see other drivers looking at me. They know that the convertible is different. Frankly, well, they know. I will say it doesn't hurt that it's it's good driving in the convertible. Joanne says, it is everything. If I ever get another car, I will be asking for, I need to see what you have in a convertible. It doesn't hurt that it's a good looking car, right? I inherited this car. I did nothing to deserve it. It just came to me. It's a little BMW. It's a really good looking little sports car. And that doesn't hurt. But honestly, that's a perk. Because I don't see the outside when I'm in the car. All I know is what's going on around me. So what the car looks like isn't nearly as important to me as the fact that I have the open top. The convertibleness of it is everything. All right, this list is getting long, isn't it? Okay, I love writing poetry. It makes me happy. Now, in my former life as a corporate person, I was a quality expert or a process engineer, right? I think a lot like an engineer in processes, in facts, in statistics. You know I love the facts. I love logic. I love a process. But I also love art, right? I love to do art and write poetry. I like to say I work well out of both sides of my brain. Well, poetry writing is a process. It's kind of like a puzzle sometimes, trying to say what you want to say and fit it into the confines, the forms of verse and rhythm that it requires. It is a puzzle to find words that have the right number of syllables, have the right sounds to them, gives you the right rhythm that you're looking for, but you're still saying exactly what you want to say. You're working on a puzzle. And there's nobody. I should have put that on my list. I'm a puzzle geek, right? I love jigsaw puzzles. I love Sudoku. I'm a puzzle geek. So writing poetry and thinking of it as a puzzle, it makes me so happy. Now, sometimes when I write, I really have two methods when I write poetry. Sometimes it's a puzzle. I know what I want to say. I write an outline just like I was going to write a paper, and then I make that outline into a poem with rhyming verse. Like I said, shove it into the conforms of a poem. And then sometimes I'm just a channel. Sometimes I'm just listening to the universal truths that are flying in the ether, right? I can't type fast enough. The words just flow out of me, and it's everything I can do to just keep up. Now, when I write a poem that I'm writing, like I said, purposefully, even when I do channeling, I use a thesaurus. I'm highly dependent on this program on the internet called Rhyme Zone that offers me synonyms, definitions, rhymes, near rhymes, and I do love it, and it does help me. But sometimes, like I said, it'll follow me around. I'll just hear words. In days of old when tales were told, and those that told them now lay cold. That's the beginning of a poem I wrote called The Princess, about the meaning of life. One of these days I'm going to publish it. It's an epic work, 56 stanzas long. And it started by me hearing these words for a month. In days of old when tales were told, and those that told them now lay cold. And I couldn't ignore it until I just sat down and these words just started flowing out of me. I wrote my rap that way. If you've heard me do the news is bad as evil lurks. The world is full of crooks and jerks. Same thing. Heard that line. Heard those opening lines. The news is bad as evil lurks. The world is full of crooks and jerks. We hear about them all day long. The news, the movies, and the songs. The words just flew out of me. I could not type fast enough. For about 30, 40 minutes, I sat at the computer and tried to keep up with the words flowing out of my brain. Universal truths are out there. Anyone can hear them. You just listen to that little soft, still, silent voice inside of you. Something, it will tell you what you need to know. And for whatever reason, mind talks in rhyme. But either method takes me to the zone, right? That timeless space of creativity where all problems and stress are forgotten and my entire being is focused on the process. Singing makes me happy. I love to sing. My dream in another life is to be a rock star. I love it. If only I had the pipes. I don't. But I still love to sing. I love karaoke. I love singing with a choir. I love singing with my friends when we just bust out the guitars and do a jam. I love singing with my grandkids when we have dance parties. We sing along. I love to sing in the yard while I'm working on my garden. I have Pandora in the background when I'm cooking. I sing all the time. I don't really care that I'm not that good. I just love to sing. And for me, it seems like, excuse me, it's impossible not to be happy when you're singing. Right? It's vibration. Singing, you're becoming part. There's vibrations going on all around us, right? When you sing, you are the instrument. You are tuning in to the vibrations going on around you. It's a lot like chanting or Om, all which have proven scientifically proven to help us reset our brain, to move us into the calming objective, to help us still the chatter that's going on. Okay, these are things that I'm not qualified to talk about, but I believe in and I exercise and I use. But when I sing, I am the instrument, turning it into happiness. I'm just tuning into happiness when I feel like tuning into happiness when I sing. And finally, you notice the show is getting longer and longer as I love the sound of my own voice. But the truth is, I love this show. Doing this show makes me happy. I know it makes me happy because I look forward to getting up each morning at 5:30. In the morning when my alarm goes off, how did this get so bright and so awful from a color perspective? The sun shifted. Anyway, I get up in the morning, I jump out of bed, hit my routine, I shower, do my hair, my makeup, my coffee. I check my PC and my camera, my read through, then I actually do the show, and then I have a little post-production. Little confession, I write each show pretty much the night before. I keep saying I'm going to get ahead, but so far I have not, and I'm writing the show generally the night before. And you know what? When I say I'm watching TV or I'm doing something else and I'm like, I got to go write my show. I don't go, I got to go write my show. I'm like, I got to go write my show. It's so fun. It's something I just look forward to. I love mining my life, looking for the lessons, the topics, the questions that I want answered, right? When I bring something to the show, it's because I'm interested in it and I want to learn about it and I want to know the answers. So I look them up and bring them to you. And this show, this conversation, this little community sharing coffee in the morning is become everything to me. The truth is, I just simply love performing. I always used to say if there's 400 guys in the room and one guy on the stage, I always want to be the guy on the stage. I don't know. I think about it a lot. Why do I crave it? Love it. Live for it. Why is it that I need to be the center of attention, to have everyone's attention? I don't know. I'm still working on that. But I do know that when I perform on stage, when I get to get up in front of a microphone, when I get to say, can I share? I always say when I'm invited to read a poem, and by invited, I mean I say, can I read a poem? And no one says no. And everyone is listening. My heart beats faster. I'm walking on air. I'm floating. I'm connected to all possibilities and all outcomes. I don't know why, but I know that I'm meant to be there. That's my happy place. That this is my happy place. And so I am working to engineer my life so I get to perform more on bigger and bigger stages. And that is what I'm actually hoping for and working towards. And quick plug here, I'll be performing this weekend at the Mission Fest. We got a local country western festival in town, and it didn't help that I was in charge of my booth for the Alliance for San Juan Art, that we have a booth there to promote art in the public square. But as a performance artist, I'll get a little bit of a spotlight and a chance to just offer some uplifting observations in life in poetry and prose. Joanne says, come and do a poem in my group. Joanne, I'm going to tell you, I have never been invited to read a poem anywhere that I said, oh, no, thank you. Not one time. So I would love, 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 love it. Okay. So this, the bottom line is that's why I created the show, right? It's my platform. It gives me an opportunity. I don't have to wait for anybody to invite me to perform. I can just do it. It gives me a platform to talk about, to bring my ideas, my thoughts in prose and poetry to this platform. I do it some mornings, even when there's no audience, even when there's no one watching. I don't know who might ultimately see it. I don't know. But you know what I'm doing? I'm talking to one person who might need to hear what I have to say that day, who might need some encouragement or some information or just some friendly and encouraging words to start off their day. And I'm hopeful that I'm reaching that one person. Doing this makes me happy. Now, your homework, my friends, it's Friday. Don't see you till Monday. Your homework this weekend is, I'm going to highly recommend you make yourself a happy list. What makes you happy? Write it down. Describe it like you were telling a friend, like I just described to you why things make me happy. Honestly, this show could have gone on for hours and hours and hours because I could have gone on longer. In fact, I will be continuing to work on this happy list far beyond this show. I will just continue adding to it as I realize the things that make me happy, right? It doesn't have to be big things. If you have trouble with this, if you're like, I don't really know what makes me happy, start with just 5. Just name 5 things. And they don't have to be big things. Maybe they're just little tiny things, but they make a difference when you start stringing all your happy, magical moments together. I love to see the monarch butterflies as they fly together. And right now it's the season where they're flying together. We see them all the time. They crust up over my hill. I love a monarch. I love to see butterflies. I love ice cream. I love chocolate. I love Rocky Road. I love black cherry. I just love to eat ice cream in almost any form. I love to hear I love you from my 3-year-old grandson. I love baby talk. I love listening to little kids as their language. Not quite there yet, but they know what they're saying. I love my little dog snuggling up with me when especially when I'm going to watch a movie or I don't feel good, and she comes and snuggles up to me like a little hot water bottle, right? Like a little lump of warmth and love to lean up against me and remind me that I got a friend. I love cheese tortellini with a creamy white sauce and a little spinach filled with flavors and textures. Maybe on the side, some crispy warm bread with a crispy crust and a soft white center. Right? What do you love? It doesn't have to be big things. I love sitting on the beach. I love watching the waves and the ocean roll in and out, roll in and out. The sky plays games with reflections of the water. The sun's hiding among the clouds. It's just a moment in time for me to be connected to the universe, to the bigger than me possibilities of all life everywhere. Make your list. Think about what makes you happy. What made you happy yesterday? Think about your day yesterday. What made you happy yesterday? What's going to make you happy today? What do you got planned to make you happy today, right? I love the saying. I've seen this meme a million times. I love it. It says, make a list of all the things that make you happy. Make a list of the things you do and compare the list. Make sure your list of what you're going to do today has a couple of items from list 1, things that make you happy, on it. There's no happiness fairy. There's no one coming to bring you happiness. You're not going to find it when you lift up an old shirt on the floor. You didn't lose it. Your happiness is there for you to choose each and every day, each and every minute, and reminding yourself of the things that truly make you happy. Well, shoot, I got happy just making the list. Honestly, I got really happy just thinking about the things that make me happy. So that's your assignment for today. Make the list. You'll be amazed at what happens when you make the list. Debbie says, I love being around. Oh, you know what I can do? I forgot. I have this cool trick. Did that work? Did Debbie's quote come up? I think so. I love being happy around positive people. It's why I love being with you in the morning. Oh, Debbie, thank you so much. That's the key, right? Surround yourself with people that lift you up, make you feel better, bring positivity in your life, and slowly, or not slowly, but you'll find you becoming that person, that you can be that person, that you can be the one that walks into the room and lifts the mood, raises the energy, raises the vibration, throws off happiness molecules off your body that are infectiously and unconsciously being received by other people. It's my goal in life to create happiness ambassadors, people who have happiness awareness, who think and encourage their own happiness every day, and who understand that living joy is giving joy, and that just by being a happy person, being happy in your own life, with your own self, right here, right now, that you are that ambassador, that you are spreading joy wherever you go, because people want to be around happy people. So Friday, enjoy your Friday, enjoy the weekend, and until next week, back in the office. Actually, the office is my happy place. I could have done it from there. But anyway, this was a good show. Tell your friends. Give me a like. Even better, give me a share. Thanks for commenting. Love you all. Love you for watching. Have a happy day.